Good evening. My name is Richard. This is Over and Over and Over Again. It's Friday at 7:30. Actually, no, it's not Friday this week. Sorry, I'll get confused. It's actually Monday. We're doing it on a Monday this week, the women's show, of course, due to the game on Friday, of course, in the FA Cup. So a little bit of a different night. Hopefully, it doesn't confuse too many people. And even if you can't join us live, hopefully you'll catch up with it at some point later on, because we've got a lot to talk about. It's been a busy week and a bit for the Arsenal women. We've won our league game that we played against Brighton, so we'll look back on that. We, of course, won on Friday in the FA Cup as well, so we'll look back on that as well. The draw was made for the semi-final an hour or so ago as well, so we will talk about that. So we won't spoil it for you yet to tell you who we got. We'll talk about that in the show. Also, as well, of course, we've got two massive games this week at the Emirates to look forward to as well, so we'll be looking ahead to them. And, of course, we're going to get all the information that we need on Wolfsburg from our German correspondent, Andreas. Of course, he's going to bring us up to date with all of that as well. So loads and loads to come. Unfortunately, Matt's not with us tonight, so we can't have Matt's chant of the week because he's not here on the show tonight. Unfortunately, he's busy. But we may find some other way of filling that section of the show later on, so stay tuned for that. All coming up the other side of this. So it seems strange having you guys in on a day that isn't a Friday, actually. But anyway, we've had to make do this week and change things around, a little bit of a reshuffle due to sort of the fixture changes and stuff like that. But it's always good to see you, Andreas. You okay this week?
Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you. I'm looking forward to the talk tonight, and there are lots of interesting things to talk about. And I've prepared some information about Wolfsburg for you all. So, yeah.
Fantastic. I look forward to that. That's going to be good. And welcome back to the show. See, Harry, so I know you can't make it most weeks due to other commitments, but it's good to have you on the show tonight. Great to see you again.
That's great. Thank you for having me. It's nice to be back. So I did want to make an effort for this one. It's a big week for us, and it's going to be very exciting.
It is a very big week, yeah. We're all looking forward to it, and it's going to be good. Amar will be joining us as well. He's, as usual, he's fashionably late as always, but he will be here, and he'll jump in the show as soon as he arrives. He's just working late tonight, but he will be with us very soon as well to make up the panel. So Matt's not with us, unfortunately, on this particular show, but I'm sure we'll catch up with Matt very soon. So there's only one place we can really start. It seems a lifetime ago, actually, our last WSL game against Brighton, which turned out to be actually a pretty decent performance. I mean, for once, it seems to have been a common theme recently, but we never used to finish games off early on, whereas the Brighton game, similar to the previous couple of games, we got the early goals, put the game to bed by half-time, a nice relaxing Sunday afternoon on the South Coast, which was nice. It was a good performance overall. I thought we should have scored a lot more goals. Obviously, their goalkeeper, Megan Walsh, had a really good game. Everything seemed to, she seemed to keep everything out, didn't she? And in the end, we got the goals. Stina, of course, getting a couple as well, which was great to see. I mean, Andreas, you must have been really happy with the way that we played that game. From the first whistle, really, we just took the game to Brighton and we swept them aside, didn't we, by half-time?
Yeah, I was absolutely delighted with the way we played. And the first half, I would say, it was the perfect half. I don't think that we could do anything better. The first 45 minutes were just perfect. And the way we played, we dominated, we were concentrated from the first second on, and we scored 3 goals. It was just perfect. And of course, with the changes in the second half and knowing that we've got these 3 points, it's normal that the performance wasn't exactly in such a perfect way in the second half, but all in all, it was a fantastic match and another step forward, I think, for the whole team, for the development of the team, the connections of the players. Then fantastic that Stina scored twice in this match, and once again, everybody seemed to be concentrated. Positive emotions. Well, as I said, perfect first half.
It was. It was a really. We played some really good football as well, actually, didn't we? Some of our passing, movement was brilliant. The chances we created. I mean, I say we could have scored 7 or 8 goals in that first half. I mean, the Brighton goalkeeper had an amazing game. It's just as well for Brighton actually. That score would have been ridiculous. But yeah, I agree. I think sometimes when you are 3-0 up at half time, sometimes it's difficult, isn't it, in the second half to have the same intensity. You know you've won the game. You make some changes and you see the game out. And we were professional in the second half. If it wasn't quite as exciting to watch, and sometimes you have to accept that part of the game. We managed the game well, and we got the 3 points. I mean, Harry, what did you make of the Brighton performance? You must have been pleased with that first half, as we said. It was brilliant, wasn't it? Some of the football we played was exceptional.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think what I liked about it is we seem to get into the game a lot quicker than we have done in the past, where we sort of the first 15, 20 minutes it feels like we're trying to warm up. I thought the Beth Steenius link up was excellent.
Yeah,
my little, you all got that, didn't you? See?
Yeah, no, we got that. Brilliant
See
stuff.
what I did there? But no, I love it. I'm actually quite excited to see. I think Stina could win the Golden Boot. Wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, I know she's come in halfway in the season, but what's she on now for number of goals?
4.
Is it 5? 4 in the league?
4 goals because the last game was FA Cup, so doesn't apply.
She's got 4 in the league, but then Viv's top with 10, so she's not far behind, really, when you look at it.
Exactly, and Viv's playing a very different role, which I'm sure we'll talk about later, but it's good. And I tell you what, it's because of the Birmingham game before, where we lost, we let in those 2 goals. It was that worry was always there for me. I was always a little bit worried whether that's going to happen, especially when we start taking off some of the key players and putting on, the bench. It's always a worry, and then it makes me wonder what kind of a bench, if we've got a solid enough bench. And it didn't happen though. Like you said, we played professional. We kept it tight. I don't remember seeing any major hiccups. I think Brighton may have had like one opportunity that didn't come to much. So yeah, good match. It
was, yeah, and it's you watch performances like that, and 1 or 2 others in recent weeks as well, and we look like a team that can win the WSL title, don't we? We look at a title-winning team. We look like a team that can compete well in the Champions League as well, which obviously we're going to talk about soon as well. So the signs are really good, and the way that the new signings have come in, obviously you mentioned Stina there, the goals that she scored. I mean, amazing goal scoring record. I think she's got 5 in all competitions for us in 6 games or something like that, isn't it? It's incredible goal scoring record. And I agree. Between now, when she signed, I thought she could score 10 goals before the end of the season, and she's well on track to do that now. She may even get more than that actually, which is even better. So she settled in really quickly. She looks the sort of centre forward that we need. You mentioned Viv playing a bit deeper. That's working as well. We look a lot more solid at the back, and suddenly that little blip we had either side of Christmas is very, very much behind us now, isn't it? And I know we will talk about the title race a little bit later as well, but it's like slightly out of our hands to a certain degree. We have to rely on Chelsea dropping points, but we're now in such a strong place, and I don't think we could have expected to be, when you look at some of the performances in December, January, where we are now, it's incredible, isn't it? That turnaround in form, the way that the new players have settled in so quickly, and suddenly now we actually look like a team that's going to not only do well this season, but going in the future as well, over the next 2 or 3 seasons. We look a team that's going to be back to where we were maybe 7 or 8 years ago when we were winning trophies regularly on a regular basis. We're getting back to that kind of level now, aren't we? I think with the squad that we've got. Yes, we can add a few more in. We're a little bit short in 1 or 2 areas, but overall, I don't think we could be any happier, really, could we? Any of us? I mean, Andreas, you must be pleased with how, especially the new signings, the impact that they've made already. I mean, Stina's been incredible. What a signing she's proving to be.
Yeah, as you said, the development of the team is the most important. And of course, we can win the league, yes, but also Chelsea can win the league. They are playing very good too. We must admit this. And I don't think that we should focus on if we don't win the league, then it was not a good season. No, it's a really good season, and the development of the team is very important. We had this down time in end of November, December, early January, when the team was, as we said, it was not really a team on the pitch. But now they seem to be connected together, and there's a good team performance. Of course, Stina and Rafa fit in very quickly, and we couldn't expect that they settled so quickly to the WSL, to this different style of playing, to this more physical playing. Fantastic new signings, and also Laura is doing a good job as backup for Noelle. So the whole team has developed. We spoke about Caitlin and Steph and their development after the Asian Cup. Fantastic. And I would say, even if we will only be runners up at the end, it is a fantastic season, and the development is the most important. And I'm sure we will have a really good future with this team.
Exactly, it's that step forward, isn't it? You know, the last few seasons, you know, we finish in third and stuff like that, and this season you can see that step forward. And I agree. Yes, I mean, if we don't win the WSL, we've led pretty much from day one, haven't we? We've been top all the way through. It'd be so frustrating if we didn't win it, but ultimately, yeah, it is a step forward in the right direction. You can see where we're heading, and that's exciting for me. I mean, Harry, Andreas just mentioned there, particularly Caitlin Ford. Her form in the last few games has been exceptional, hasn't it? I mean, how good has she been since she came back?
I think she's really turned a massive corner. I love what I mean, I really like Caitlin. I think she's such a great player. She's such a great character off the pitch as well. She's got brilliant energy. I think my favourite thing about her is the way she runs. I've never seen anybody run like her. She just does this little hoppy run that's it's brilliant. I mean, she's got really good pace. Her form's been excellent, really, really excellent. And I couldn't, I'm not a football expert, so I couldn't really put my finger on what's done that, but something is absolutely working. So yeah, with you on that. I think the signings are phenomenal. I'm really pleased with the signings. It's hard to say who my favourite is. I mean, Stina is an absolute force. Rafa, possibly my favourite signing. I think she's just that connection between her and Leah is, I think it's phenomenal, really, really phenomenal. And I thought Lara played brilliantly against Coventry. You know, really impressive, really, really impressive. I think the goal started from her. Whose goal? Stina's goal that was assisted by Keats started with Lara, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. No, she had a great game. No, she did. You're right. She had a brilliant game. And it has been great to see. I mean, Caitlin, as you said, I mean, I thought her form earlier in the season, she was struggling to get in the team, and she looked a little bit out of sorts, didn't she? And maybe going to the Asia Cup, you know, maybe it was as simple as that. Maybe going away, having a break away from it, maybe, you know, getting to play regularly there. She's come back. She's looked sharper, fitter, and just incredible form. You know, she's scoring goals again. And suddenly you look at it and you think, wow, who do you leave out? I mean, she got put down to the bench in one game. She came on and scored, didn't she? Against, was that Reading, wasn't it? I think it might have been. Or Brighton, wherever it was. She came on and scored, didn't she? Having been left out of the team, and she played so well. It was like, wow. And it just shows what strength we've got in the squad now. We've got imperative views in the chat there. It's nice to see you. Terry says, good evening, Richard. Nice to see you again, Harry and Andreas. Who's singing tonight? Well, we'll have to see about singing, but maybe we'll have to try something later, maybe. Terry says, to be fair, I'll be gutted for the girls if they don't win the WSL. Yeah, I mean, I think we all would be, because they deserve it, because of how well they played all through the season. But ultimately, it's out of our hands slightly, as we will kind of talk about a little bit later on. But of course, it wasn't a WSL weekend, was it? It was the FA Cup, a competition that we've historically done really well in. And again, we got a favourable draw in the quarterfinals at home to Championship bottom side Coventry United. But these games can sometimes be trickier than you imagine. But in the end, it was a pretty convincing victory, wasn't it, for us? My only complaint was that the game was on Friday, really, because it meant we couldn't do the show, and that was a bit annoying. But ultimately, it was just about getting through. A lot of changes to the team as we expected, really resting some of the key players. I think it was eight or nine changes, wasn't it, from Brighton in the end? A lot of changes, but yes, it wasn't quite as fluid a performance, was it, due to those changes, I think. But ultimately, FA Cup's about getting the job done, getting through, a comfortable victory in the end. Some good goals as well, actually. We could have scored a few more, but the ones that we did score, they were pretty good goals, weren't they? Steen obviously getting another one as well, which was nice to see. I mean, Andreas, you must have enjoyed aspects of that performance. It wasn't quite as free-flowing, was it, as recent games? But the changes probably were the reason for that. Do you feel that maybe a lot of changes is always going to be difficult, isn't it, to get that same rhythm again?
A lot of changes, but good that Jonas gave minutes to players who hadn't much minutes in the last matches. But to be honest, the first half wasn't good. It was no, I was not satisfied with this performance. There was no space, no pace in the match. Not really creating chances. No pressure on Coventry. They are one of the weaker teams in the championship. So we should dominate them more and have more pressure on them. So they will make mistakes. And the first half was not the best. And it was good that we scored a goal. This took a lot of pressure from the match. But the second half was better. Then you could see that the girls, that the pressure was lower than on the girls, and they knew, okay, we will win. It's just a question how many goals we will score. And then the second half was a lot better. Of course, Coventry got tired, and for them it was extreme match for them. It's totally different if they play the teams of the championship or a team like Arsenal. So all in all, it was okay. We won. We scored 4 goals. We are through to the semi-finals. It's okay. Players got minutes. Others were rested. So with the result, I'm satisfied.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the greatest performance ever, but ultimately it's. I agree. It was good to see some players getting minutes that maybe they've not been getting too many of in the WSL, using the squad. You could see, wasn't it, in the end, it was maybe when we started making the substitutions in the second half that, we made a couple of changes and it made a difference, didn't it? What I was most pleased about, Harry, was that Keats got herself a goal, because she's been struggling, and you could see how relieved she was when it went in, and everybody was delighted. And that was, to me, was the highlight of the whole night, actually, seeing her finally get a goal. And hopefully it can give us some more confidence to move forward for the rest of the season, because we need her to be playing well, don't we, for the rest of the season, because I think she's going to be important as we chase down 3 trophies potentially.
Yeah, I really agree. It was brilliant to see Keats get on the scoreboard. We've been waiting for that one. She's been waiting for that one, I've no doubt. It's I think her form's been struggling since she joined. She hasn't quite gotten to the rhythm of it, and there's been a lot of near misses, and I'm sure it's really frustrating. But like you say, it could be the confidence booster that she just needed, because she's a very, very good player. She's a very, very strong player, and having her up there is excellent. I think Beth Mead is, to me, is she's just so reliable right now. I mean, her form is just outrageous. She scored in the last 3 of the last 4 matches, if I'm not mistaken. Assisted in I don't know how many goals. She's got the most assists, goal contributions. Is that right?
That's right, yeah.
I mean, it's just insane. She is so good. So it was. I agree with Andreas. It was one of those games where you're but you just kind of knew they were going to be all right. But at the same time, we weren't playing our regular starting 11. It was a little bit of a different team, so it's going to be it's not going to be as fluid. But we needed that. The girls needed the rest. They've got 2 massive games this week, so I'm glad to see Leah rest and Viv get some rest.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that was, in a way, it was kind of the perfect evening, really, wasn't it? Players got minutes. We could rest some of our key players. we got through pretty comfortably. Scored some good goals. Nikita Parry's got herself a goal, as we said, and it was a satisfactory night, wasn't it, overall? And that's pretty much all we could have hoped for. These games are difficult, aren't they? Because you expected to win, you expected to win comfortably, and unless you do that, it seems like a little bit of a disappointment. And a 4-0 victory is fine for me in that game. I wasn't particularly worried. A 4-0 was great. It's what we needed to get through. I would have took a 1-0, to be honest, just to be through. But the performance was a bit hit and miss, but to be expected. And ultimately, we got the job done. And I think that is definitely the most positive thing. And I say it was good to see some good performances as well from some players again, which is nice. Like you said, Beth Mead, incredible. I mean, she came on, got a goal pretty much straight away, didn't she? First touch, she's there, finishing it off, bang, goal. And that's what she's been producing pretty much all season. And let's hope they can all keep this form up for the next sort of 10 games or so that we may have for the rest of the season. Hopefully we've got at least 10 games with a bit of luck, but we'll see how all that goes. Terry says, yeah, spot on, Harry, what a player Suze turned out to be. Yeah, she's a fantastic player, definitely one of the signings of the season, without a shadow of a doubt. Andy says, evening, how you doing, Andy? Thanks for tuning in, mate. He says, Harry's got the boy band look, so he's my favourite to sing tonight. He has got a bit of a boy band look there. You're right there.
It's my after swimming look.
Is that what it is? It's very cool. So yeah, that's probably what it is. We got Michael in chat. He says, hopefully the Champions League gradually introduces you guys to the wider world. The world has a few Black Steniuses out there. How many times can we discover the best thing since last bread? Well, we've discovered 2 of them this season from us, haven't we? With Stina and Rafa coming in, and we've got Lam in there. Good evening from Italy. Of course, Italy's where they're finally to Champions League, isn't it? This year, so it might be just up the road for you if you're lucky. We're all doing very well, thanks, mate. Thanks for tuning in, which is good to see. Harry, do you want the link to the show?
Yeah, I just want to send it to someone.
To someone to watch?
Yeah, someone to watch, yeah.
Right,
Otherwise, they'd be joining us.
Yeah, exactly. What I'll do is I will. I'm trying to think if I can find it. Actually, it should be on YouTube. Hang on, give me 2 seconds. I'll just get this. Where is it? There. Right. I'll just share that in the chat. Sorry, guys. We just need to sort this. Right.
Technical difficulties.
There we go. Right, there it is. There, it should be in a private chat. So there you go. So that's that. Right, sorry about that. So that was the Coventry game. Good to get through to another FA Cup semi-final. We've had a few of those in recent years. Of course, it's the second one this season because we did play one earlier this season as well. But the draw was made at about 6:30 this evening, and guess who we got? Yeah, Chelsea, as expected, really, I suppose. It wasn't a big surprise, but we are at home, and I suppose that is a massive advantage. I wonder, Andreas, if they'd play at the Emirates again, because, of course, we did beat Chelsea at the Emirates, didn't we, at the start of the season? Do you think, I know we've got these 2 games this week, can they get that arranged that quickly for the Emirates in April, do you think, or do you think we'll just take them at Meadow Park and hope for the best?
Yeah, that's an idea. I don't know whether the men are playing on this weekend. It's Easter weekend.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I have to check with the fixtures.
But anyway, it's good for us, and of course good for the women's football that the draw was made Arsenal versus Chelsea and not Chelsea versus Arsenal, because Chelsea at the moment, with their special license, they are not allowed to sell any tickets, and as far as I think, the season ticket holders wouldn't be allowed to come into the stadium for a cup match. So probably it would have been behind closed doors if Chelsea was drawn first. And now it's Meadow Park or at the Emirates, but we will have a full stadium and I think a fantastic atmosphere, a match of the two best teams in the league. And as I said, Chelsea is really doing a great job too. I saw their last matches, the 5-0 against Birmingham. They were missing a lot of key players, and we know how difficult it can be against Birmingham. So all credits to them. And it will be a tough one, but I would have preferred West Ham in semi-finals. Of course, everybody would like to play against West Ham, and now Man City is the team who got them. But anyway, if we want to go to Wembley and if we want to win the cup, we have to beat Chelsea. So now
we'd probably have to beat them at some stage, and I suppose the semi-finals are as good as any. The men are actually playing away at Southampton on the Saturday the 16th. So if the semi-finals on the Sunday the 17th, the Emirates isn't being used on the Saturday, so there's a possibility maybe if they can organise it that quickly, or maybe what you said there could be a good point. If it's at Meadow Park, it'll be a full house. Whereas at the Emirates, yes, it'll be a big crowd. We know there'll be a big crowd there, but Meadow Park could be an advantage to us. I'm not sure. I say we did beat him at the Emirates, so that would be nice. And he's finally turned up late as always. It is Amar. How are you doing? You okay? He's on mute as well. You're on mute. You're on mute. Take yourself off mute. Come on, let me see.
Now he has light, but no.
Oh, he's disappeared. You only have to turn yourself off mute. You didn't have to go. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm sure he'll be back in a minute when he sorted his computer out. So yeah, it could possibly be at the Emirates. That's a possibility. So we'll have to see what happens with that. I mean, Harry was not really the draw that we would have probably chosen if we had a choice. We would have picked West Ham, no doubt. But it is what it is. We're probably going to have to play them at some point, and maybe the semi-final might be better because we can play them at home rather than at Wembley in the final.
Well, I have to say that this is like a bit of a bombshell for me just now because I didn't know this fact.
Oh, okay.
So while
exclusive
you were talking
exclusive on the show.
I just had a quick look at Twitter and I just seen the announcement. For starters, it was going to happen one way or the other. I think I'd rather play them in the semi-finals than the finals because in the finals there's more passion, there's more to win, there's also more to lose. They beat us in the last final, so there's always that. I don't know. I feel like I prefer it to be at Meadow Park because I think at Meadow Park it's going to be loud. It will be really loud, and you got that crowd behind. I mean, I really like the atmosphere at Meadow Park, and the Emirates is beautiful. It's really great place to play, but I mean, the first match of the season when we played Chelsea and we won, they only sell half the tickets, don't they? They keep half the stadium closed. So there's a lot of us, but the stadium looks relatively empty.
In a bigger ground. Yeah.
So it's I think I'd like to see it at the Meadow Park personally. Can we beat them? I think so. I don't know if Chelsea's. It's like you say, Andreas. I don't know if Chelsea's been massively challenged yet in the last handful of games. I don't know that they've been hugely challenged. They've played some quite, no disrespect to the teams that they've played, but they've played some much easier teams. Everton and they've got Spurs coming up. I think that's probably a bigger game. That's a harder game for them. I think there's obviously some politics going on. I mean, I hate the reasons behind it, but I'm hoping that those politics might just, make them play less well.
Hasn't done so far, but yeah, I mean, funny enough, since the sanctions on Chelsea, the men and the women's team have won every game that they've played, which is, I wasn't expecting that reaction, but anyway, it is what it is. I guess we just have to hope that, as you said, that maybe something catches up with them eventually, and they have got, of course, Spurs in midweek, which we will talk about in a minute as well. I mean, Amar, good to see you anyway. I know are you off mute now, first of all? No, you're not. You're still off mute. You're still on mute. We can't hear you. What are you doing? No, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. No, we can't hear you. We can't hear. What are you doing? What are you doing? Amar's got a few technical issues going on his computer at the minute. Hopefully we'll be able to. No, we can't hear you. You're on mute. You can see yourself on mute. Look, you're on mute. You've got yourself muted. Oh no, he's not off mute, and he still can't.
He's off mute now.
He's off mute, but we still can't hear him.
Maybe he should switch off the light. Then we can hear him.
Yeah, maybe that's true. Yeah, maybe the electricity only can power one thing at a time. Maybe that's what it is. It's either light or sound, whatever one you get to first. And at the minute, it seems to be the light. We can't hear you, Amar. It's no good talking. We can't hear you. You need to sort it out. Find out what the matter is, and see if we can get it fixed. Because it's all very well looking nice, but we need to hear what you're saying as well, because it's kind of part of what the show is. And Tom says, is it April the 17th? Yeah, I think it is, isn't it? The semi-finals, April the 17th. That's the date that they've got for it. Terry says, Amar, nice to see you. The women's show was on Monday, not nearly Tuesday. We can't even hear him anyway. And Tom says that they've got no fans. Well, no, they won't have any fans. Their fans won't be allowed to buy tickets, will they? So that'd be a shame, won't it? No Chelsea fans, which would be a real shame. So yeah, that's I said, the draw is what it is. I agree. I think I would rather play them in the semi-final than the final. I was kind of maybe hoping that they'd get Man City, and Man City would beat them again like they did the other week, and then we wouldn't have to play Chelsea at all. But anyway, that's not quite how it's worked out. So we'll have to do to Chelsea what Man City did a few weeks ago in the final and score 4 passes. So that would be nice, wouldn't it? And Tom says, yeah, blimey, Amar, the lights are on, but no one is home. No, they're not. Well, we can't hear him. He's home, but we can't hear him for some reason. I'm not quite sure what's happening with Amar's sound tonight. We're not able to hear him. But anyway, hopefully we'll get that sorted out.
Opinions in the private chat. We'll sort of we'll read them out.
Yeah, just put your comments in there. That'd be a good idea. Yeah, we have to. He's got to try and sort the problem out. Let's hope he can get it sorted out very soon. But anyway, we will carry on with the show in the meantime while we await Amar's. He got something interesting to say now. We waited long enough for it. It's no good him coming along and hang on, he's back. Let's see if we can get him working. His sound. Oh, he's gone away. Okay, well we'll carry on. We'll get him back in a minute when he's back. Of course, as we've already mentioned in the show already, it is a massive week for Arsenal. Of course, we've got 2 massive games in 2 different competitions, and hopefully we can get 2 good results. But the first one, of course, is on Wednesday night at the Emirates. Of course, 2 big games at the Emirates. The first one is, of course, a team that Andreas knows a lot about, and he's going to amaze us with his fantastic facts in a minute from Wolfsburg. Of course, one of the facts we know is, of course, they've got a couple of our former players playing for them, including Jill Royd there, who we saw. So, Andreas, over to you for your fantastic facts on Wolfsburg, which we need to know, of course, ahead of the game on Wednesday. And I hope you've told Jonas as well, so he's prepared.
I'm sure Jonas is listening to our show, so he knows everything when I have finished. I don't only want to say that it will be a tough match or difficult. You all know that. But just a few facts. Wolfsburg is currently leading the German Bundesliga after 17 matches with 44 points. That means they have won 14 out of 17 matches. They scored 50 goals and conceded only 12. And in the German DFB Pokal, this is the German FA Cup, they reached the semi-finals as well as we did. 3 matches, 13 goals scored, only 2 conceded. And we all remember in Champions League, they won their group by goal difference, and they thrashed Chelsea with 4-0 at home. So these facts already show their strength. It's their attacking line. And I want to present the squad to you now, so that you can, when you watch the match, you can see for which players you should look, or which ones are the ones to watch. So in goal, they have Almut Schuld, the number 1. She is currently the number 2 goalkeeper in Germany. She came back from maternity leave. She's born twins. And she had shoulder surgery, but now she's back, and she's 30 years old, really experienced player. And when they played at Bayern Munich last November, Wolfsburg won 1-0, and Bayern totally dominated, had a lot of chances, but Almut Schuld, she was denying every chance. She was just great, and it will be difficult to score against her. In defense, we all know and remember Dominique Janssen. She wears the number 6 shirt at Wolfsburg. Very strong in the air. She's a player with a lot of pace and always dangerous at set pieces. She's the heart of the defense. And they have more German internationals. Kathi Hendrich, she came from Bayern Munich. Felicitas Rauch, Joel Wedemeyer. But one problem, I would say, for Wolfsburg is they have not the perfect partner for Dominic Janssen. It can be Lena Oberdorf, wearing number 5, 20 years young. Everybody says she's one of the greatest talents in German football for years. But her preferred role is holding midfielder. She's very good as a number 6, playing like Lia Wolti, and she's a very physical player. In nearly every second match, she is booked with a yellow card, and I think she will play against Viv, and she can really hurt with, because of her physicality. Her tackles, sometimes a few fouls, and this will be difficult to play against her. But she's, as I said, 20 years young, such a talent. Our chance is that Wolfsburg might say, with the new tactics from Arsenal, with Stina and with and this offensive power from Arsenal, might put Lena Oberdorf in defense to pair with Dominic Janssen. Then Wolfsburg has got a problem on the number 6 position. So, but watch her wearing number 5, Lena Oberdorf, big talent. Midfield, we know Jill Roth. I don't have to say much about her. We know her well, technically strong, pace always a threat for goal. She likes to come from the midfield and run into the box, and she's always a danger to score. They have Lena Latwein. She just scored 2 goals in the top match against Hoffenheim on the weekend. Offensive midfielder, with 20 years young, German international, wearing number 8, if you want to watch her. And one of the most important players in the team is Alex Popp, the captain, also captain of the German national team. She was out about 10 months with a knee injury, and she's back since beginning of March. And she's called the aggressive leader of the team. She's now 30 years old, very experienced. She can play everything in midfield from number 6, 8, number 10. She also often played number 9. She's very strong in the air. When there are crosses, corners, set pieces, it's difficult. So this will be a task for Rafa, I think, to have to beat her in the air. And I had once the chance to make an interview with Alex Popp, and she knows about her style of playing and her physicality. And she said, I know the way I play won't allow me to play until I'm 35 or 36. My body won't make this. But her dream is to lead the German national team to the Euros as captain, and maybe next year in Australia. So she has big goals, and having her back is a big boost for Wolfsburg. Alex Popp with number 11 from Wolfsburg. They also call her the queen in the air, because she's very good with her head. And the attacking line, internationals wherever you look, Svenja Huth with number 10, 31-year-old German international winger. She likes to dribble, and this is she's always dangerous on the wings, and then her crosses cause danger. So this will be difficult to defend. And they have Tabia Rasmuth, 25 years young, wearing number 28. She scored a lot of goals in the Champions League. One player you all know should be Pauline Bremer with number 7. She's only 25 years old, but she played in France, and then she played 2 or 3 seasons at Man City. And I remember when she went to Man City, I thought, no, this is not a good move for her. She won't make it there. But in the 2nd or 3rd season at Man City, she scored a lot of goals, and she impressed me a lot. Then she ruptured her ACL when she was in Wolfsburg and was out nearly a year. She came back end of February and already scored. So very, very good player. Pauline Bremer, number 7. Then they have Joel Smits, Dutch international, maybe Harry knows her. Rebecca Blomqvist, Swedish international. I can continue. Janice van de Sanden, Dutch international. Turit Knag, Sandra Starke, all German international. So the attacking line is just the strongest part of the Wolfsburg team, and there's a lot of danger from them. But the team likes to dominate matches. They like to have the ball, a lot of ball possession, and then create chances and they score a lot of goals. But the weaker part is the defense. So if we can manage to have more ball possession, then I think we will create chances, and they will make mistakes, especially in defense. There are players who are technically not the best. A lot of pace. When I see Kathi Hendricks, she came from Munich, but in many matches she makes mistakes or a wrong pass. So we must dominate. We must take pressure on them. This would be my advice. And all in all, they have a very strong squad. They are a dangerous team, but they are not Barcelona. So there is a chance to beat them.
That's good news. They're not Barcelona, because one Barcelona is enough for one season. Although we may have to play them again should we get through. Amar is now back. Is he working? Are you working?
You can hear me now. You can hear me now.
Yes, he's
Amar.
working.
Excellent.
Well done,
Yeah,
Amar.
no, it was the wrong microphone. I figured out I was on the wrong microphone. My microphone settings are wrong.
I had that at the beginning, actually, before we started. One thing to do that, because I've had, over the time, I've had 2 or 3 different mics that I've used, and sometimes it picks up one I haven't got plugged in. And
Yeah, it was fascinating listening to the Rafa Honigstein of women's football talk about Wolfsburg there. So yeah,
that was brilliant, wasn't it? So
he's like Rafa Honigstein. He knows everything inside out about German women's football. So
yeah, exactly. No, that was fascinating and really useful as well, because now we know what to expect. I mean, you're right, Andrea. Some of those players are familiar to us in one way or the other. I'd say a couple of players that we know particularly well. And of course, Harry, as you mentioned there, you obviously you'll be more aware of the Dutch players in that side. A few there, as Andreas mentioned. But they're going to be a difficult team to play. We know that, don't we?
They will be, but I tell you what. So I've got. I was having a chat with a friend of mine today. I have to say, I believe my son's watching this show now, so I'm waving hi to my son Marcus. He's Dad's live on TV. It's like I'm famous. So here's the thing: there's the Dutch squad. There's a lot of Dutch players in that Wolfsburg team, right? You've got Van der Sanden, you've got Dominic Janssen, you've got Lynn Wilms, you've got Jill Roord, and they all know how each other works. We have Vivianne Miedema on our team now, but we've got a whole bunch of players who have played with a lot of those Dutch players, especially Dominic Janssen and Jill Roord.
Yeah.
But none of those players and the Wolfsburg team have played with Jill in the number 10 role, because she doesn't play that role in the Netherlands, and she hasn't played that role, as far as I'm aware, certainly in recent history. So I think that the whole mindset of trying to contain Viv in that number 10 role, which she is just a shining light, she's outstanding in that role, I think it's going to be really hard. It's going to be a bit of a mind game for Wolfsburg, and I'm really hoping that that's going to be our sort of silver bullet, that we're going to start creating different kinds of chances. You've now got Stina, who is as good as Viv in a striker position, who likes to be that role. Then you've got Viv coming back in that number 10 role. I really think that's going to be, it's going to have a completely different dynamic, and it's going to be very exciting to see. Whereas you take Jill, who I'm a huge fan of, and I've met Jill many, many times, love her to bits. She's playing exactly the same role in Wolfsburg as she did in Arsenal, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to know exactly her style, what her strengths, what her weaknesses are. We've done it. Yeah. We've worked with it before. So I think we could definitely utilize that. And I agree with some of what Andreas was saying about some of the defense players. They can make mistakes. I mean, even I went to see the Chelsea-Wolfsburg match at Kings Meadow, and Wolfsburg were leading for quite some time, and Chelsea scored a goal at the last minute. It was classic Chelsea move in their home games. But if I remember, if memory serves, I think that was a Janssen mistake that caused that goal. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody can remember, but I think that was a Janssen mistake that caused that. And I think if we can capitalize on some of those some of those passing errors, we could beat them. We definitely could. Whether we can beat them at home, I don't know, because then it suddenly changes the dynamics entirely.
I mean, to be honest with you, from what you and Andreas have said, I'm suddenly starting to feel a lot more confident. That they seem as though they could be a bit shaky at the back. We know our strength is the forward pack that we've got as well, a bit like their strength. Defensively we're a lot more solid now. With Rafael and Leah, so I'm suddenly starting to believe that we've got a great chance of getting through over the 2 legs. Not obviously nothing's decided on Wednesday necessarily, unless we win about 4-0. But ultimately, I'm quite confident now that we can actually get through over the 2 legs, because it seems as though their weaknesses may be a right for our strengths, and we can capitalise on that, and hopefully we can nullify their and obviously they've got threats going forward, as we know. But I'm actually starting to be a lot more confident now, so I'm glad we've had this discussion, because I was actually a bit worried about Wolfsburg before, thinking that we were going to lose, and now I kind of think we might not. I mean, Amar, I know you've been we've been waiting to get you in. What are you making of this Wolfsburg game then? I mean, obviously it's a massive opportunity for us to get through to the semi-final, because when the draw was made, we struggled through our group. We lost that game terribly, didn't we, against Hoffenheim? Dreadful performance. And we were all a little bit concerned. Whoever we got, we're thinking, well, we're going to probably get knocked out. But things have changed. We've improved. We've got new signings. We're playing better. And now we know that Wolfsburg actually are quite shaky at the back. Suddenly, we've got a hell of a chance, haven't we, of getting through this time.
Yeah, and if you look at some of the opposition that they've been playing in the Frauen Bundesliga recently as well, I mean, I look at some of the teams that are just blowing them away. I mean, other than Hoffenheim and Bayern, who are arguably their closest rivals each season for the title. I mean, it's like the Arsenal will be definitely a step up in a golfing class for them, and there'll be pressure on them. I know Chelsea may have had issues with COVID and things like that when whatever it was in December, but this will be a good test to see where they're at as well, considering some of the opposition they play. Arsenal have, as you said, have overcome their sticky patch, which they had around December following the FA Cup final and losing to Hoffenheim and all that. And now they look banging form. They're not conceding goals. The strength of the squad is really good. And I think it's a great opportunity for us to entertain our fans in front of the Emirates as well. And if we, with no away goals in place, should we get a good result on Wednesday, I think the pressure will be on them to perform in their home leg, which is also happens to be at their men's home ground. So, I mean, there's lots of factors that come into play as well. I mean, Steen obviously won't be able to play because she played for Hacken early in the competition. I think
she can.
She can.
They've dropped that rule, she can play,
Oh, that's good then. That's great. I think they're also missing Iwa Payor as well, who's a key player for them. So, I don't know what's happened to her, but I think she suffered a major injury. But it's going to be a good test to see where both teams are at. And, I think it's a great opportunity for us to get through.
Yeah, it's sort of come at a good time in a way, hasn't it? Because we've got everybody seems fit at the moment. All our key players are firing, and it has come at a good time for us. And let's hope that we can take advantage of it at the Emirates as well. Should be a good crowd. It's looking like a pretty decent crowd already. Tickets sold and stuff like that. So I think it's going to be good. And hopefully just playing in that. I know it didn't go too well against Barcelona last time we played at the Emirates, but that's Barcelona and this is Wolfsburg. So, we need to understand that. But I mean, hopefully they'll all raise their level even higher from playing in that stadium like they did against Chelsea earlier in the season. And, a big crowd behind us. I think we've got a hell of a chance now. And I'm actually really excited for this game even more now, because I'll say I was a bit concerned before that maybe it was not going to go too well, but I think we might do it now. Andy's in the chat here. He says, when I watch the Champions League, the teams I find with real football system are Barcelona and Wolfsburg and Bayern and Hoffenheim partly. French teams seem to be about great individual talent. More system. I mean, obviously Barcelona in particular, we've seen exactly how good they are as a team, the system that they play. So, you've probably made a good point there. And Andy says, we in Chelsea are hopefully getting there, but not yet. To be honest, we have great talent also. But we are making progress. Exactly, we are making progress, and that's the main thing. Terry said there, as Amar's mum sent him to bed. That was earlier when he didn't get sent to bed. He's back and he's fine, which is good. Andy says that doesn't mean I don't think we'll win. I do think we have a big chance of being in great form. Yeah, we are in great form, and that's all you can hope for, really. Come into big games in good form with everyone fit, and that's all you can. That's the best you can hope for, really. Tom says there, it appears we've never beaten them, played 3, lost 3, scored 1, conceded 7. Still, what does history know? Yeah, they beat us in a semi-final, didn't they? Was it 2013? I think it was, when they beat us 2-0 at Meadow Park, didn't they? And then we lost away as well. That was disappointing. When was the other time we played Wolfsburg? Does anybody know? I know we played them twice then. Do you know, Andreas, when we played them another time? Was there 3 times that we played them?
No, I don't know.
I can't remember, actually. I
don't recall playing them. I've been watching since 2019, so...
No, I can't remember. I can't remember us playing them, actually, other than that semi-final when we lost in 2013. I can't remember us playing them other than that. So maybe, Tom, you'll have to let us know if you know when that game was. Just let us know, because I can't recall that one. But anyway, Tom says, Amar, welcome to the forum. Indeed, better late than never, we always say. And Amar,
no, I don't have Sousa. I don't have Sousa. No, I don't.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
The only other time we played them, in fact, sorry to disrupt you, Richard. Yeah, it was 4-1 to them in the 2013 Champions League when they went on to win. And then I think we played them I seem to remember we did play them in a pre-season friendly in Germany as part of the trip, and we lost 3-0, and also in 2016 as well. I think they were both pre-season friendly. So.
Oh, okay. Well, friendlies don't count.
One was in February, but one was in February.
It's proper games that matter. So but I remember we playing also that semi-final, which was disappointing. But anyway, that was the first leg at home, and we lost 2-0, and then we lost, I think it was 2-1 away, wasn't it, as well? And we were at Kim Little scored, actually, so maybe she might pop up with a goal on Wednesday. Of course, we can't talk about a game without giving our score prediction, can we? So, Andreas, obviously, your score prediction is going to be the most accurate, because you know all this about Wolfsburg. You've seen them play a lot more than we have. So, what are you predicting for Wednesday night then at the Emirates in terms of the score? What are you thinking?
Yeah. I'm expecting a very tough match, and I think there will be goals. And my prediction is a draw 2-2. I don't think we'll get the win. I see this very strong attacking line from Wolfsburg, and the problems we had concerning defending of corners and set pieces and crosses. We conceded too many goals from this, and we will concede against Alex Pop with strong in the air. And I see them score, but our chances, as you said, Viv is in a new role, and this will cause some problems for Wolfsburg. So hopefully we will score 2. It will be 2 tough matches, and I think we'll see a draw with 2-2. I was just in the German talk. We also discussed the Champions League, and my German friends were very optimistic that Wolfsburg will win both matches and won't have any problems. And I said, let's not forget it's a different Arsenal. You don't see the Arsenal from November or December. It's a different team. And I agree that in December we would have lost 1-4 or so, because we were in a totally down, and now it's a different team. We have our chance, and the decision will be made in Wolfsburg next week.
I mean, to be honest with you, a 2-2 draw without away goals meaning anything, I actually wouldn't necessarily look on it as a bad result, because I think away from home we'd be capable of winning, whether we can or not. But I wouldn't be totally against the 2-2 draw. I've got to be honest. It'd be a good game for a start off, and it would give us a great chance still to go through. If it was 2-2, I would certainly take that. I mean, Harry, are you slightly more optimistic that we can win the game? Because I mean, a win to take over there would be impressive, wouldn't it? And would really give us a great platform to go over there and see the job out. I mean, do you think we can do it on Wednesday?
Especially if we don't concede. If we don't concede, that's going to be big. I did have a question. Lara Weinrothier, she played for Hoffenheim.
Yes.
Right? And have Hoffenheim beaten Wolfsburg? So in other words, does Lara know how to beat Wolfsburg? That's going to have an impact, right? I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory for us, because I like to be positive.
Wow.
I think I will caveat that by saying I think the opening goal will determine who wins that game.
Yes.
I really think the opening goal will, if they score on us early on, I think we're probably done for. It's not like, some of the other teams, in the WSL who we can definitely come back from. They're not that kind of team. They're too good. So if we need an early goal, or at least we need to open up scoring. I think we can do that. I think we've got, if Katie McCabe's on form, I do like her up left wing. Beth Mead on form, which she has been. Stina, and if our back line is strong, if we hold the back line and if Manor is on form, if Manny's on form, I think we're okay, because she's been really good as of late, hasn't she? She's been phenomenal.
Yeah.
So we just can't have any mistakes. My son just texted me, remember to smile.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you'll be smiling on Wednesday if we win 2-0. I think we all will.
Well, if not, I have to. A little secret, please don't judge me, but I because I'm a big Jill fan as well. I did buy my daughter for her birthday a Jill Roord Wolfsburg shirt, which I will be trying to get. See, I've upset Amar so much. He's
gone now. He's had enough of that. He wasn't listening to that at all, was he? He wasn't having none of it.
But I will try and get that signed if that's all possible. I think we can do it. I think we can do 2-0, 2-1 maybe. But the opening score will win that. Win that game.
No, I think the first goal in a lot of games is important, but in games like this, even more so when it's big teams. I quite like Terry's prediction here. He's gone 5-3. That'd be a good game. Slightly better than 2-0 in a way. It'd be more exciting. He says Paris ×3, Viv and Beth. Well, I mean, if Nikita Paris was to get a hat-trick in that game, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? I mean, I'd love a 5-3. It'd be fantastic. I'm not really sure.
I'd be surprised if Nick's plays.
Mm-hmm. I mean, she won't start, will she? You'd imagine she'd be on the bench if
definitely not.
No, I wouldn't expect her to start. But
I think Beth will play the full 90. I think Stina will play the full 90. I think Viv will play full 90. So maybe you've got a mix of, we've been playing McCabe and swapping McCabe for Caitlin.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's the possible mix up there, or Tobin Heath, of course. But she's been sort of nursing an injury. I mean, she's phenomenal when she's on form, but she has had that injury. So.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, she's a big game player as well. So if she's fit, you'd imagine that she'll be able to play some massive impact in that game. But yeah, we'll have to see how fit she is. But we've got lots of options.
She's a World Cup winner, isn't she?
Exactly. Yeah, she's a big game player, isn't she? So if she's fit, you play her, don't you? Quite honestly, in a game like that. But we'll see how fit she is. But yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of options in that front three. I mean, I suppose Katie could always play left back, and Caitlin Ford could play that left-sided attacking role, which she's done so well in recent games. That certainly wouldn't be a bad thing. I mean, Steph Catley's been playing well. So yeah, we've got options, which is the best thing. What you need, isn't it, going into these games? You need to have options, because the bench is going to be important as well as the game goes on as well, isn't it? People that we can bring on off the bench.
We definitely need a Katie McCabe half-time talk, because I do believe that turned things around for us.
Maybe let her do the pre-match talk as well. Yeah, exactly. She has. She's done that before, so let's hope she can do that again. That was when she was suspended, wasn't it?
That was when she was suspended. Yeah.
Yeah, but this time she's playing, so hopefully she.
Do you have a prediction on that? How many yellows go around?
Well, we're bound to get more, I would have thought, than they will. But anyway, we'll see.
Jonas on 2 at least.
Yeah, well, he likes getting a few, doesn't he? He's had a few this season. I'm sure he'll be ready for a few. I mean, Amar, what will be your prediction then? Obviously, Andreas is reasonably confident of draw. Harry thinks we're going to win, which is great. Are you as confident as Harry, or what are you thinking?
Something just tells me that I think it could be similar to what it would be like. It was a packed house. Who can forget one of our best nights when the boys beat Barca and Lionel Messi and David Villa and co. all those years back in 2011. Something thinks the girls can rekindle that spirit that we showed that night and make it a famous night. And I think we can stun them and maybe win. It'll be tight, but I think we can win 2-1. I honestly think we can win this game. And yeah, it will be tight and tough. They're a very good side, but they'll be playing in front of that atmosphere where they're not used to whatever atmosphere is, but they're not used to playing in the Frauen Bundesliga every week. But yeah, I think we can do similar to what we did to Chelsea in the season and beat them. So yeah, I'm going to say 2-1 Arsenal.
Oh, well, that's great as well. I mean, we're all pretty confident here. I mean, yeah, I think it's a good point actually that, you know, I think in the WSL, because the strength this season, particularly WSL, you're not getting easy games very often. Every game is tough and difficult, and you've got to play well to win. And we're used to doing that week in, week out. And, you know, maybe Wolfsburg have got a lot more easier games in their league on a weekly basis. And, you know, when you've got to raise your level every so often, it's more difficult. And if you've got to raise your level virtually every week to win games, and maybe that gives us a slight advantage maybe as well over these games. You know, but having said that, Wolfsburg beat Chelsea 4-0. Well, not many teams do that today. So, you know, we know it's not going to be easy, but I'm confident now, actually. I'm confident that we can win on Wednesday. I must admit, before I was a little bit worried about this game, whether or not we were quite good enough to compete at the Champions League. You know, we struggled through the group a little bit, didn't we? We lost half the games in the group. So, you know, I know 2 were to Barcelona, but even so, we let in a lot of goals. And I don't know, I was a bit worried. But now, you know, 1, we're playing a lot better now. 2, Andreas has convinced me that they're a bit shaky at the back, so that's good. Yeah, so I'm actually confident we'll win. I was actually thinking 2-1 as well. I think we'll win 2-1 on Wednesday, and that will set up nicely, won't it, for next week's second leg over there, which is going to be a tense night, no doubt, as well. If we are winning 2-1, that would be something to hold on to a lead and see how we get on with that. But yeah, be interesting to see how that goes. But yeah, I'm going to predict a 2-1 because I'm feeling confident now, and I'm looking forward to it. I think we might do it. And yeah, maybe Steen is going to get the vital goal. I think I fancy her to pop in the winner at some point in the second half, which would be nice. So we'll look forward to that. Tom says there, not sure if anyone will play a full 90 minutes with a North London derby. Some of them will have to, because we can only make 5 substitutes. So 6 of them are going to have to play 90 minutes, aren't they? Because we can only change 5. So, you know, some of them will have to play 90 minutes, won't they, ultimately?
You feel more confident against Spurs anyway, surely?
Well, yes, I am. I'm pretty confident. We'll talk about Spurs in a minute. I'm pretty confident about Spurs, but they've been quite difficult to beat this season, haven't they? So, you know, I don't know. We'll have to see. Let's get Wolfsburg out of the way first, really, because
definitely.
That's such a big, important game. And then after that, we've got 2 or 3 days to worry about Tottenham and think about that game in the meantime beforehand. But yeah, I mean, it is going to be a big game again. But yeah, I mean, I think we need to throw everything at Wolfsburg on Wednesday and then worry about Tottenham afterwards. Because yeah, you know, we should hopefully beat Tottenham, but who knows? I suppose that we, you know, because on Friday I'm in London and Andreas is in London, we're not sure whether or not what we're going to be doing, whether we're going to be able to get a show on Friday. So why don't we look into the Tottenham game as well, seeing as it is, you know, we can look at the Emirates doubleheader in one show, which will be good. So let's have a look ahead to that game as well then, the North London derby. What fun. I mean, we say it's a big week for us, and it is. It's also quite a big week for Tottenham because they are playing Chelsea on Wednesday while we're in the Champions League. And that is, of course, Chelsea's game in hand. And should Chelsea beat Spurs, they will go top while we're playing the Champions League, which is going to annoy me quite a lot because we've been above them all season. But on Wednesday, we need Tottenham to do us a big favour. And then on Saturday, we need them to be their usual Tottenham and lose, quite honestly. But what are we thinking? Obviously, it's in a way, I think it benefits us that we're playing Tottenham second out of the 2 because Chelsea it'll be a tough game, for we know that. If they can, you know, if they battle hard and get a result against them, will they have as much to give against us at the weekend following that? We don't know. I think it's our advantage that we play, it's that way round, and they're not playing us first and then Chelsea. So I think we've got a slight advantage over Chelsea in that sense. But it is 2 big games for Tottenham, and wouldn't it be funny if Tottenham actually helped us to win the league by beating Chelsea or getting a draw against Chelsea and then losing to us? That would be what a week that would be for Tottenham, wouldn't it? In Tottenham's history to help
Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Flowers.
Yeah, exactly. I think we'll have to do some celebration for them, won't we, if they do that? But obviously, it's a big game, 2 big games, as we said. What do we think? Let's talk about their game against Chelsea just briefly first, Andreas. Do you think they can actually get a result away at Chelsea on Wednesday? Because we're praying that they're going to get a result in one of them games, aren't we? And surely this week the game in hand is the one. Please, Tottenham, do us a favour. Do you think they can?
It's what we need. Chelsea must score points, otherwise they will win the league. But and the 2 Spurs games are together with the last one against United. These are the most difficult tasks they have. But I saw the last two matches from Chelsea in Everton, I think, and at home Birmingham. They looked really strong, and still they were missing Frank Kirby and Pernil Harder, two of their quality strikers were out injured, still out. Magda Eriksson is back now. She scored against Birmingham. It's a big boost for them. Like for us, the return of Leah Williamson. It's for Chelsea is the return of Magda Eriksson, their captain, their leader, and Erin Cuthbert is back. So I don't think that Spurs will take anything from them. But yeah, of course, it's a difficult one, and if Chelsea is still without Pernil Harder and Frank Kirby, then maybe they will have a problem to score. And we saw Spurs defend very well against us. The goalkeeper was just outstanding against Arsenal. Let's hope they do us a favor, but I don't think so. And for us, it's at least good that they also have a very difficult match on Wednesday. Just imagine they were free during the week and could just prepare the North London Derby.
Exactly.
It's good that they have a difficult match, and if Spurs want to keep their chances to qualify for Champions League, they must get something out of these two matches. So the danger is if they lose at Chelsea, they must take points from us. And North London Derby is always special. Just for the players like Leah and Lotta who have grown up with Arsenal in their blood. I think Chelsea will win at Wednesday, and I hope and I believe that we will win on Saturday. But that would mean Chelsea is in the lead.
It would, yeah. I mean, although we played before Chelsea, so beating Tottenham would put us back in front again before they play their game. But I've got to be honest with you. If Tottenham lose to Chelsea, right, if they can't do us a favour, then I hope on Saturday we beat them 25-0 and it serve them right. So, quite honestly, we've got to punish them. If they do lose to Chelsea, we have got to punish them on Saturday severely to make them realise that is not acceptable. And when they play them again in a couple of weeks' time, they hopefully would have learnt their lesson and they'll go out and get a result against them. Because we can't let them get away with it. If they do lose to Chelsea, we can't let them get away with it. So we need to teach them a lesson on Saturday if that's going to happen. But yeah, I mean, I would imagine we should beat Tottenham at home. Let's be honest, we should. I know they're a lot more difficult to beat this season. You know, we've seen they're very solid defensively, as you said there, Andreas. They're not conceding many goals. And actually, when you look at it, Chelsea, they struggled to beat Aston Villa at home, didn't they? Last weekend?
92nd minute,
yeah, they scored right at the end, and you know, Tottenham. I would say if that was 0-0 going into the 92nd minute on Wednesday, you'd more back Tottenham to keep them out for that last few minutes than you would Aston Villa. So you know, we'll see how the game. Well, they might be 3-0 down by then anyway. But you know, I think that could be a difficult game for Chelsea, and I'm confident Tottenham can actually do us a favour in at least one of these two games. Hopefully, the one on Wednesday would be really nice. And then you know we can you know if they've got a result on Wednesday when they visit the Emirates on Saturday, we can give them a nice cheer as they come out because they've done us a favour, and then we can go out on the pitch and beat them 5-0. Or as Terry says, 5-1. Terry's confident it'll be 5-1. So there you go. That'd be nice. But let's hope they certainly play better than a 5-1 defeat on Wednesday. That's what I want them to play really well Wednesday. I'll be cheering for Tottenham for very, very rarely in my life, but I'll be cheering for Tottenham. But I will be on Wednesday. We're really hoping that they can do something. You know, we'll have half an eye on that where the Wolfsburg game's going on and see what's going on.
Absolutely.
To see what's going on there as well, but we'll have to hope for the best, really. But I mean, Harry, what are you expecting from Tottenham in these two games? Do you expect them just to be Tottenham and lose them both, or do you think that they're a different Tottenham team this season, aren't they? Let's be honest, they are.
They're a different Tottenham team, like you just said. I'm going to be behind Tottenham. In fact, I'm going to be so supporting Tottenham on Wednesday that I'm going to eat chicken at some point. Well, that's fair enough.
Why
so any Tottenham fans listening, that I'm going to do that for you. But here's the thing. So you're right. So Spurs they've been hard to score against. They drew with us in November, but that was kind of the start of our bad patch. So, it counts, but it's a bit different. I think I didn't know that Pernille wasn't back yet. I thought she might be back. I really don't know. Magda Eriksson is a strong player. Sam Kerr has been on really good form, but a lot of teams have held Chelsea, that 0-0 right to the last minute. God knows what happened last week. Fergie time again.
Hayes time.
Yeah, Hayes time. Now, I don't know. I think that Spurs could pull a draw for us. They could. They're not going to beat Chelsea. I really don't think they're going to beat Chelsea, but I think they could pull a draw. But the other side of this coin is that they're playing away. Spurs are playing away. It's quite likely they will lose, but they're playing them only a month later at home. So they're going to learn from that. They're definitely going to learn from that. And I think that if they lose on that game, this is their home game, Spurs' home game is April 24th, is going to be the one where they could not necessarily win, but they could pull that draw, the one draw that we need them to do.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, and I've been thinking this for a little while when looking at the fixtures. If Chelsea beat Tottenham home and away, and then go on and beat Man United at home on the last game, there's nothing we can do about that. And you'd have to say, hold your hands up and say they probably deserve to win the league, don't they? Because that would be an impressive way to finish the season. I mean, we couldn't beat Tottenham away. We couldn't beat Man United at home. So, they if they do those two results, you'd have to say that however well that we've done, they probably would have just shaded it. But I'm hopeful that Tottenham can at least get a draw in one of them games. I'm hoping on Wednesday because I think if Chelsea win on Wednesday and we go into Saturday in second place, we've not been in second place all season, and that's going to really put some pressure on us, more pressure on us for a game like that against Tottenham, which is not going to be an easy game because it's the derby, and Tottenham, as we said, are a lot better this season. So I think that could have an impact on Saturday's game going into it in second place, because we've not done that yet this season. And we don't know how we're going to respond to not being top because we've been top for so long. So that's a little bit of a worry. So as much as they have probably got more chance of taking points off Chelsea when they're at home, I'm kind of hoping that they might somehow find, get 10 players behind the ball, 11 players behind the ball, stick them all on the goal line for 90 minutes. I don't care. Just get a result. I don't care what waste time.
Kings Meadow. Are fans allowed at Kings Meadow?
Why wouldn't they be allowed?
Only season ticket holders.
Only season ticket holders. So
yeah.
So there'll be no away fans. There'll be a handful of season ticket holders. I mean, who wants to buy Chelsea season ticket? But
yeah, true.
Okay, so they're not going to have a huge crowd there.
No, they're not.
We should all show up and just start chanting outside Kings Meadow.
Well, yeah, that'd be a good idea. If we wasn't playing at the same time at the Emirates, wouldn't it? That'd be a good idea to do that, actually. But
we've got bigger fish to fry, man. We've got bigger fish to fry.
We have got bigger. Well, we've got bigger fish to fry, but ultimately that's a big important game, isn't it? In the title race, I suppose. And we need to do something to distract Chelsea. Maybe someone needs to fly a helicopter over the stadium or something, and with banners and stuff just to put them off. I don't know. But anyway, but no, it's going to be. I suppose it will be almost an empty stadium, won't it? Virtually. I mean, there'll be a few people there. I don't know how many season tickets they sold.
Spurs would be used to that, to be fair.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, it'd be like they're at home, won't it? So they'll probably be all right.
It'd be like playing at home. They can do this.
Exactly, yes. Maybe that might swing it in their favour. Let's hope so. And then they'll turn up at the Emirates on Saturday with like 30,000 people there, whatever it is. It's quite a few. I mean, Tom says their ticket sales for Saturday looking impressive. Still with enough days to go. Yeah, they've opened up extra stands, haven't they? Because how many tickets they've sold, which is great.
Yeah.
So the atmosphere is going to be fantastic, I think, for that game on Saturday. I'm really looking forward to that one. That's going to be good. But I say they need to do us a favour first. I mean, Amar, do you think that they're going to help us out over this week and possibly next month as well, or are we going to resign ourselves to the fact that Tottenham are not going to help us at all? They're just going to roll over in 2 games and then produce a performance against us on Saturday. That'll be more likely, won't it? They'll lose to Chelsea twice and then they'll beat us just to show that they're not going to let it go our way. I mean, what are you expecting from Tottenham this week then, other than them being Tottenham?
Well, as we've been saying, as the boys have been saying, I mean, the games against Everton, Birmingham, and whoever else they played, And West Ham, they just know how to beat those teams. When they come up against a team that's actually rolled their sleeves up this season and showed some real fight and really surprised a lot of people, I think for me, Rhiannon Skinner would probably be even if it wasn't Jonas or Emma, she'd definitely be up there for my choice or shortlist for manager of the season. The way she's really improved that squad, they signed quality players, and you saw even against City, just one poor moment. They say City didn't exactly break them down or look like scoring. They were a bit unlucky against them, and deserved something out of that game for me. But it just sums up. They've been so resilient all season. I think they'll go up there. They'll frustrate Chelsea. Maybe and look to, well, I won't say look to try to hit them on the counter, but maybe just sneak a goal. Look, could be similar to the game against us. When we needed the equaliser from Viv to salvage a point, but we'll see. But at the end of the day, I think they can do us. The pressure will be a bit on Chelsea, but they always seem to find a way. So I don't know. It's going to be an intriguing game, and then depending on the result of that, they could. Yeah, I mean, it remains to be seen. I think the result of that could have a say on how they play against us at the Emirates on Saturday. So I don't know what will happen, but I think they can do us a favour, and should they do so, they might even cause us a few problems on Saturday. So let's bring it on and see what happens. It promises to be a great few days.
I mean, that is the kind of downside for me, because as much as I would, we're praying that Tottenham can do us a favour and get a result. If they go away to Chelsea and say get a draw, they're not going to be scared of playing us, are they? And they're going to be confident and they can get a result against us. Especially we would have had a really tough game midweek as well. So, I mean, I suppose that's the downside to it, the confidence that they might get that holding Chelsea for a draw ahead of playing us. I don't know. It's a tricky one, isn't it? Maybe. And funnily enough, next week we've got a similar situation because we play Leicester and then Chelsea play Leicester. Or is it the other way around? We're both playing. We've got the same fixtures, haven't we? 2 weeks running because we played Tottenham and then they played Tottenham and then we've got Leicester and they play Leicester as well, Chelsea. So, and Leicester are actually not a bad form at the minute, so that could be an interesting game. But we'll look ahead to that later on. But I suppose we're going to have to do a score prediction for the North London derby then. Andreas, what are you thinking for that one then on Saturday?
We must do it better than away at Spurs. So. I believe we'll win, and the atmosphere and so many spectators in the stadium. We will win 3-1. I think it won't be easy, but a lot will depend on both matches on Wednesday. How we get along against Wolfsburg, how they do at Chelsea. So the self-confidence in both teams will depend on the results on Wednesday. But normally we have the better team. If you compare the players from us and Spurs, we have the better team, and I believe we will win 3-1. I saw Spurs only once in FA Player this season. This was when they played Man United, and United was over 90 minutes the dominating team, and with the last action was a free kick and Spurs equalized, but it was terrible match from them though. So I wonder how they got so many points and how they can compete for the third place. So we are the better team. We will win 3-1. That's my prediction.
I mean, you say that, but actually the game when we played them away in that first half, we could have been 3 or 4 goals up, couldn't we? We didn't take our chances, and then they sneaked a lucky goal against us, and then almost held on, and we got that last-minute goal.
Could have had a second as well. Could have had a second.
Yeah, they could have done. Yeah, that's right. It was actually never, wasn't it? Missed one that she should have scored. So we should have won that game with the chances that we had. And maybe Tottenham have got that little thing about them that maybe it doesn't matter. They seem to be able to pull out results. And you're saying 3-1. Have they conceded more than 2 goals in a game this season in WSL? I'm not sure if they have because they've been very, very strong. It's a very good. They've only lost 4 games, and they tend to look like they lost 1-0s and 2-1s and stuff like that.
Brighton, West Ham. Man City was their first home loss all season.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they lost last week. Wasn't it? 1-0.
Man City, and I can't remember the other team that's beaten them is, but yeah.
They scored only 19 goals in 16 matches. So
I think they've only conceded 16, haven't they, or something like that? They've not conceded too many, have they?
12. They conceded only 12.
Well, there you go. Well, I mean, that's a good defensive record, that isn't it? Really. Yeah. So. I think that they're going to be difficult to break down for us and for Chelsea. And, you know, yeah, I mean, 3-1 would be fantastic. But whether or not that we can score 3 against them, we'll have to remains to be seen. I mean, Harry, obviously, we're going to beat Wolfsburg 2-0, so surely we're going to beat Tottenham 6-0 on that basis, aren't we?
So, okay, we've got a completely different team to what we had when we played him in November. We've got Stina. We've got Beth on stunning form. We've got Viv in that number 10. So 3-0 to the Arsenal, 3-0 to the Arsenal, 3-0 to the Arsenal.
Well, that would be fantastic. Tom's gone with 4-0 actually, so Tom's even more confident, which is nice.
Yeah.
Robert says there, Spurs will never be good enough to beat the Arsenal. Well, let's hope that you're right, but let's hope they are good enough to get something against Chelsea, though. That would be what we need. Amar, what's your prediction then for Saturday against Tottenham? Obviously, we're all going to be there, actually, so it's going to be... We need to score some goals so we can all enjoy it even more. But what do we think?
Yeah, I think a lot will depend on what happens on Wednesday, both in terms of their game against Chelsea and our game against Wolfsburg. But should we be on it like we've been all season, and especially since, well, pretty much all season, bar that little difficult period between Christmas and New Year? Yeah, I think they could go there and do it. Why not get a similar result to away? It won't be as easy as when Arteta's team beat Nuno so easy early in the season, but I'm still predicting it'll be a similar result. I think we'll win 3-1. So let's see what happens.
Oh, okay, a 3-1. So Andreas thinks we're going to score 3. Harry thinks we're going to score 3. Amar thinks we're going to score 3. And Terry in the chat there says, "Stop flapping, chat. Spurs are rubbish. 5-1. Trust me, it's in the process." Yeah, but if they're that rubbish, then Chelsea are going to beat them as well. And we don't want Chelsea to beat them, do we? So we don't want them to be that rubbish. We just want them not to play very well against us, so that we can win. But yeah, as Tom says there, the Emirates is a different kettle of fish. It is a different kettle of fish. Let's hope so. And Terry there gives Harry 8 out of 10 for his song there, which was good. We did enjoy that. Called 3-0 to the Arsenal. We'd enjoy the result even more if that was going to be the case on Saturday, I'm sure. Obviously, I think we're going to win. We have to win. And, can we score 3 against them? I don't know. They've been very solid at the back, haven't they? I don't know. I'm not sure. Go on. You've all said 3. I'll say 3. I'll say 3-0 as well. Everyone else has gone for 3. Everyone's scored 3. So, and we have scored 3 quite a lot in recent games, haven't we? Robert says there, Arsenal 4. Spurs in the changing room advert for cleaning. Well, let's. I say obviously I want to be nice to Spurs until Wednesday because we need them to do us a favour. So yeah, as long as they do us a favour, I say if they lose on Wednesday, then I really, really hope that we score loads and loads against them and make their life a misery on Saturday. Definitely. But anyway, we'll see what happens. It's ultimately, I think this week in many ways in the WSL. And in the Champions League for Arsenal, it kind of sums up exactly what this season has been like in women's football. In the WSL and everything else, it's been such a competitive season, hasn't it? There's been so many great games and so much excitement. And this week kind of is just the next kind of chapter in that, isn't it? Really, with these games that we're involved in the WSL games as well. And I don't know. I just think that if you could highlight like the way that women's football's improved in the last few years, obviously the way that everything is falling into place for women's football, with the Euros coming up in the summer as well. I think this week with these 2 great games at the Emirates and also that potential big title game as well against Chelsea against Tottenham as well. I think it's what women's football's about now, isn't it? What it's all about. And I think the excitement building for these games, the tickets sold for the Emirates. And just people that are now becoming a lot more interested in women's football, watching women's football and appreciating it now for what it is. You still see some silly comments on social media about it. But ultimately, I think when most people sit down and look at it, they can realise and understand exactly where women's football is now in relation to where it was a few years ago. If you haven't watched women's football since, I don't know, maybe 2015, and I think you watched it now, I think you'd be surprised at how much it's improved. The atmosphere at the games is better. The football on the pitch is better. It's on the telly now, so you're getting a lot more better coverage of it as well. I mean, it's great to see, isn't it, Andreas? The way that women's football now has really taken off, and I think this week that we've got coming up now epitomises what this season has been, hasn't it? What it's brought us in the WSL anyway. already.
And not only in the WSL, but look at the Champions League matches during the week. The names that they are playing. There's Bayern Munich against Paris Saint-Germain. There's Real Madrid versus Barcelona. Juventus Turin versus Lyon. And Arsenal Wolfsburg. Fantastic names and played in the big men's stadiums. The match Bayern Munich versus PSG already sold 11,000 tickets for the Allianz Arena. So this will be a new record for Bayern Munich. It was 5 years ago when they played PSG there were 7,000 in the old stadium. And now we're playing in Allianz Arena, 11,000, 12,000. It's a fantastic week for the women's football, and all matches are broadcasted by DAZN on their YouTube channel, free for everybody. This is a fantastic week, and everybody should watch these matches and see how much the women's football has improved. It's technically a lot better than it was 4 or 5 years ago. It's worth watching it. It's worth spending your time and spending money to go to the stadium and watch this. And the atmosphere, the familiar atmosphere among the spectators and with the teams. It's all it fits all perfectly, and let's hope we will have a wonderful week with the highest level of football. I'm very optimistic.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, and you know the fact that they've got these 2 games back to back at the Emirates as well makes it even more special, doesn't it, for us? And it's a great opportunity for the girls to play at the stadium again. Two games in a row, 2 massive games as well, and what will be hopefully, especially on Saturday, certainly in particular, it's going to be a really big crowd, isn't it? It could be a record WSL crowd, couldn't it? Potentially with the tickets that sold. So it's going to be a massive week. And I mean, Harry, I know you've kind of got into women's football, quite recently, actually, haven't you? Said so. I mean, even in that small time that you've been like watching it, it's improved, hasn't it, massively? There's the standard of the football and the whole experience of it. Do you not feel that?
Yeah, well, you know what? I think I got into it right at the good time because it was 2019 World Cup that got me into it, and I was highly impressed by the quality of the football that I was watching. Plus, all those matches were played in big stadiums, which was great to see. So it looked like real quality there. And then when you watch it on the FA players, like the smaller stadiums, is a little bit, but you see the quality's already. Yeah. I was exposed to that quality, which is what I really wanted, which I was really pleased to see. As it's grown, all the players that have come out there that I didn't know before, people like Stina, who are now with us, and you watch Pernille Harder. I mean, I don't want to big up Chelsea, but you watch Pernille Harder play, and she is phenomenal. I mean,
she is phenomenal.
It's Hampton as a goalkeeper. Geez, I mean, she's just. I mean, she needs to come to us. She is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. You can't get past her. So when you mentioned the comments, Rich, on social media, to me it's just so boring because it's just why bother with that mindset? It doesn't even. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't. In fact, it's so stupid. It doesn't bother me anymore. I said it's great to see the exposure that they're getting. Playing advertisements at Oxford Circus Station. It's brilliant. Really, really good to see that growing in the way that it has. And the player interactions, the fan player interactions are really cool. So everything about it is. It should be on the same level. At this stage, it needs to be on the same level as the men's team at virtually every level.
Yeah, no, I agree. It should be, and it's starting to get that exposure, isn't it? That with the Sky deal this year and stuff like that, and I think that's going to grow. Obviously, the more money is going to come into the game through the TV deals as well, and I do think that we're going to see massive changes in the next couple of years. Hopefully, not all the bad changes that happened in the men's game when Sky got involved. But hopefully we'll see some positive changes as well. The game will get more exposure and it will start to be on the same level. I mean, my dream is for the Arsenal women to play all their home games at the Emirates, and that to be their stadium. And that's all the games all the women's teams are playing in the men's team stadiums. It's just one club and you all play at the same place, and that should be how it should be.
It's a tough one, that, because I completely agree with you. It absolutely should be. The sponsorships from Sky and BBC and all the rest of it is amazing. But there's two things, and it's maybe totally selfish. One is the atmosphere in Meadow Park is genuinely special. I mean, it really is special. It's this really cute little environment there, and it's brilliant for the family. The family atmosphere is on a different level. When I've seen the women's games in at the Emirates, the atmosphere is a little different. There's the language it changes, and less geared for the family. So I'm a bit mindful of that side of it, and I don't want to take that family culture away from the women's team, regardless of where they play. The other thing is that all those games, so many games have been moved from the 2 o'clock or 12 o'clock kickoff to late kickoffs. And that, again, is not conducive to the families. And it's the families, the kids, that really like the women's football. And I don't know how to balance that.
I mean, that is a problem, isn't it? And what's going to happen is, if the games were played at the Emirates more regularly, there was a bigger crowd, what you're going to get is you're going to get a lot of people that have maybe followed the men's team are going to be watching the women as well, which isn't a bad thing. It's a positive thing. But ultimately, like you said there, it's going to change the atmosphere, because the atmosphere in men's football and women's football is, at this moment in time, totally different, isn't it? The women's game is a lot more family orientated, and that's great, and we love it for that reason as well. But if it is going to grow, it is going to need a wider audience. It is going to need a wider fan base of people coming into the stadiums and watching the games live. And if that will inevitably probably mean it's going to water down that family atmosphere a little bit, because we're going to need more people in the stadiums to watch the games, aren't we? And it is getting that balance right. You say it's very difficult to know how to make that work, because I don't know how they can do it. And I've noticed it myself, when I was at the cup final at Wembley, and I've not seen a women's game at the Emirates until this week's going to be the first time. But I know the atmosphere is going to be completely different in the Emirates to what it is at Meadow Park for that reason. And it's trying to, I don't know, we need to grow the game, we need to grow the fan base, and we need to get more people watching, but without losing too much of that, what's made it great in the first place. And it's difficult, isn't it, to get that balance? And I don't know what the answer is, actually.
It's a tough balance.
It is, and it's something that I don't want. The women's game in some ways has always reminded me a little bit of like non-league football, when you've got a smaller crowd, everybody knows everybody, the players know the fans, and you've got that special relationship. And obviously the bigger it gets, you're going to lose a lot of that, because it won't be possible to keep it.
And perhaps it's a sacrifice that we have to make as fans, because it's in the best interest of the players, because they're going to play a better game. They're going to elevate themselves, and it's they're living their dreams, and ultimately that's all we want, is for them to live their dreams in the best way they can.
Exactly, yeah, and it's going to be the benefit to the sport in general as well, isn't it? And the future generations as well coming through playing women's football. So it is a tough one, and it's going to be difficult maybe to adjust and to the changes in it as it happens in the next few years, which is inevitable. It's going to, unfortunately, and we're just going to have to go along with it and get used to it, because ultimately it is what we want. I want to see women's games played in front of 40,000 fans every week in the WSL, like the Premier League is. That's the dream for me. I'd love to see that, because it deserves that audience, and it's as it's improving even more. Basically. But we are going to lose a lot of that other great stuff about women's football that we've always loved, and it is getting that, a sacrifice, as you said. Maybe that's a sacrifice we'll have to make as fans, is to say, what, let's get people in the ground and let's get people enjoying it, and hopefully we can keep some of that atmosphere as well. Who knows? If it's possible. Let's hope so. I mean, Amar, what you must be, I know you've been watching women's football a little bit longer than some of us. And what have you made of this sort of change? Are you embracing this change that's going on at the moment, or are you kind of hoping that it doesn't change too much?
Well, I've been watching women's football probably since good 16, 17 years now, and I think it's just come on so much. And I mean, I hope it just keeps on appealing to the masses around the world and audiences like as it has been over those years I've been following it. I don't want it to be too much change. Keep it as it is. Trying to encourage the young girls with grassroots and whatever they can, and just get as many people involved. I think it's just great, and then I think it was great, and long may it continue over at the end of the day. That's what I would say.
Yeah, exactly. We want to see it continue to grow. Tom says there, you do have to watch your P's and Q's more at the women's matches. Yeah, I suppose you do. He said Barcelona, there are a lot of kids about, but to be fair, the guy who sits behind me at the men's goes with his little girl, and he's always swearing. Well, there you go. I mean, it's just what it is, isn't it? I suppose you're going to get either, and no doubt there'll be some swearing in the next couple of games at the Emirates, I'm sure, especially if things don't go particularly well for Arsenal. But let's hope that people will be swearing in the right way, getting excited about the game and the goals going in. But anyway, we want to see a good atmosphere there anyway, don't we? Let's hope that we do. But yeah, it's been good. It's been a great couple of years for women's football, and it is going to get even better, I'm sure, in the next few years as well. And we're all going to be there to enjoy it, as hopefully Arsenal continue to have a lot of success as well as things change. We should be at the forefront of the changes, because we've been at the forefront of women's football growing in the first place, haven't we, all the way through? So so fantastic. Well, that's another great show. Different night of the week this week. We on a Monday, we made a change. Robert says they swear more. Yeah, that's probably true, actually.
Do they know?
They probably do.
Have you heard Katie McCabe?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But no, exactly. I mean, out on the pitch, it's the same, isn't it? Really, I suppose. But anyway, it's all good stuff. So yeah, so we have to do a different night tonight, and it's gone well. Terry says, let's hope Sky spread the money through the leagues, not just the top. Well, yeah, that's been a problem with the men's game. We know that. Maybe they might have learnt from that. We'll see. But I wouldn't hold my breath. So yeah, I mean, a Monday night show actually went quite well. There seemed to be more live people watching tonight actually than in some of the Friday shows.
Yeah.
We normally on the Friday shows, a lot more people catch up with it afterwards, perhaps because on Fridays they're doing other stuff. Maybe on a Monday, maybe people are ready for a show. So it might be something to think about for the future. Maybe move it to a Monday, perhaps regularly, maybe next season. But that was good fun. I enjoyed that. Andreas, thanks for joining us. Thanks for your fantastic information on Wolfsburg and making me now feel really confident that we're going to go through, which is nice. You enjoyed the show?
Yeah, of course, I enjoyed the show, and I hope I could give some necessary information. And if we are all now confident that we can win, that we can beat Wolfsburg, that's okay. And yeah, let's hope the best. But anyway, let's hope for two great matches and great atmosphere. And we won't see the Champions League battle against Wolfsburg decided on Wednesday. It will be decided next week. But let's hope for a good result, and that still everything is open for us. I hope we won't be defeated at home. So yeah, and I'm looking forward to Saturday to be at the Emirates and to see live match of the women there. I think it will be fantastic. I enjoyed the show, and I hope I will enjoy two great matches.
Exactly, and of course, the best thing about Saturday is, of course, you're going to be able to meet Amar's dad as well, which is going to be really exciting.
Well,
he is definitely.
Sorry to say, but I don't think he's going to actually get it. He's going to be able to get a ticket because the nearest blocks available to him is block 13. So I don't know. He said he might not be able to make it, sadly.
Oh, that'd be a shame. He's a legend. But anyway, I'm sure we'll all have to meet up anyway at some stage. I mean, Harry, great to have you back on the show. Been a little while, but always great to have you on. A pleasure again. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we look forward to hopefully I might be able to see you Wednesday actually. Then at some point.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see you on Wednesday and or Saturday. Be brilliant. Come look for me. I'll in our little chat we'll say where we're sitting and stuff. But Andreas, hopefully see you on Saturday. So yeah, it will be two exciting matches. Win, lose or draw. It'll be a good atmosphere. Good matches, and I'm very excited for it, and it's great to be back. Hopefully, if we do Mondays, it's a little bit easier for me, but don't rotate it all around me.
Yeah. No. I mean, tonight I was a little bit worried actually, thinking, everyone's used to this show being on a Friday, and I thought maybe not on a Monday. People wouldn't realise it was on, and they might not watch it. But actually, we've had more live viewers watching this one than all the other ones live, actually, which is good. So maybe Monday nights may work better for people, which is great, So we'll have to maybe look at that perhaps for next season. And when we go forward with the show, maybe look at that again. Amar, again, I know you was a little bit late and a few microphone issues, but we got there in the end. Always a pleasure to as always. Enjoyed the show?
Yeah, and that's always good. Good to be back, and hopefully we'll see the return of my quiz next time as well. So yeah.
Yes, we will, and hopefully we'll have Matt's little chant as well, because Matt should be back.
That's right. We can't do it as well. Yeah, exactly.
We missed Matt tonight, of course. Unfortunately, he was a bit busy. But anyway, Tom says they're looking forward to Wednesday and Saturday. Bring your hearts and voices.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah, we definitely will be. Terry says there. That's because there are more people watching. He says that's because people think H is a famous singer after his screening. So he is a famous singer now. So there you go. So that's what it's all about.
It can be a regular thing.
Yeah, well, let's make it regular thing. Robert says, good night, guys. Stay drunk and swear away. Women understand that is why they respond. Well, yeah, we just need to get behind them, don't we, really, in these 2 games. It's going to be good. And, of course, it's going to be great on Saturday because all of us are going to be at the game, including Matt as well. So we'll all have to meet up, of course, the women's show gang at some point. We'll have to meet up perhaps before the game or after the game or at some point and all get together and meet each other in person finally. I know I've met Amar and Matt before, but it'd be nice obviously to meet Andreas and Harry as well. And hopefully Amar's dad can come out as well at some point later on. You can't in the game, tell him to come anyway. We can meet him afterwards. Because he's a lot of fun and you would definitely enjoy meeting him. Terry says there, a great show, Richard, Andreas, Amar and Big H. Many thanks. Yeah, thanks for tuning in again, Terry.
Cheers, Terry.
Tomorrow night on the show it is the Tuesday clinic as always. We'll be looking back at the men's games against Liverpool and obviously the Aston Villa game, talking about a few issues from those 2 games. Over celebrating, what's that all about? I mean, if you can't celebrate winning, what's the point of even playing?
No.
Anyway, let everybody know about
Sam Kerr, then
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, what's the point in that? Do you know what I mean? Why celebrate? You know what I mean? You just got a last minute goal. That's going to maybe win you the league. But yeah, so we'll talk about that as well, a few other things. That'll be tomorrow at 8:00. So please join me for that if you can. Obviously, there's going to be no watch-alongs of the women's games this week on the channel because I'll be there. But on Wednesday, I'm going to hope to go live before the game. I don't know what my signal is going to be like. So if it doesn't work, it won't work. But I'm going to attempt to try and get a little bit of pre-match atmosphere, maybe talk to a few fans outside the ground, maybe get players coming out, warming up and stuff like that. If I can do that live on the channel, I will. The plan is to do it. It just depends on whether or not my signal will be able to allow me to do it because I have to do it on my phone and stuff like that. So we'll see how that works out. But that way, if I can't do it, I'll do the best that I can. And then, of course, I'll try and do something similar for Saturday as well. Try and get all you guys together. We'll have to do something on the camera outside the ground or something like that. It'd be good, won't it, on Saturday? And I will be doing vlogging, of course, of both games as well. So there'll be stuff coming up on the channel for it, just not the live watch-alongs this week because we'll be there in the stadium, which is even better. So fantastic. Terry says, Amar, you can tell your mums you can come and take you in now.
Quiet.
Bedtime.
He's drunk. He always is. One too many drinks.
Yeah,
I don't need to be pumped in. I'm 30, for goodness sake.
It's bedtime for Amar. You just look younger, you see. That's what it is. You look so young that people think that you're like.
We're all 30.
Huh?
Yeah,
we're all 30.
At least some of us are at least 30. Robert says, I envy you all. I'm so far away. Yeah, I know. It's a shame that you can't come to the games, but I can't get to many these days because I'm quite far away as well. But it makes it extra special when you can, I suppose, isn't it? Because you've got to make a big effort of it. And what better time to make an effort than this week with these 2 brilliant games that's going on. So we look forward to that. I'll see you tomorrow night for the Tuesday clinic. That's going to be a good show as well. So join me for that if you can. Don't forget to give it a like before you go. Thanks everyone for watching. I say good people, a good number of people watching live tonight, which is good. And don't forget to catch up as well if you did miss any of it. Watch it back again because it is worth watching. So thanks to Andreas, of course, as always. Great to have Harry back on the show. Always a pleasure. And Amar, when we could finally hear him as well. Great to have Amar back. And we look forward, obviously, to next Saturday and we can all meet up in person as well. That'll be really good. And I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you all very, very soon. And in the meantime, of course, as always, come on, you guys. Big wins. Let's do it. Come on, girls. 2 big wins. Let's do it. Come on.
Bye.